Something that has started to come across my radar a lot the last 2 weeks is the de-dollarization, the BRICS, the dollars going bye-bye. And I believe Millennial Mike has found a video, a very short clip that he would like me to react to. I'm a little nervous because there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, so I think this is a good question that people have because a lot of people are for the first time ever even hearing about the fact that, oil is traded in the US dollar and things like that. It's a point I've heard that Dion made before. And when China and Brazil and some of these other countries strike a deal that will make it so they can trade oil in a different currency, what happens if we're no longer the reserve currency of the world? What does that mean for us? It's one of our major benefits of our country is that we're the reserve currency. It's harder for us to feel as much economic impact. So I think a lot of people rightfully are wanting to learn more about that. But then, of course, once you take the mainstream media and the TikTokers and the YouTube crash bros piling on with it's the end of the world, we're going to lose our ability to do transactions. I think there's just a lot of uncertainty. So we're gonna watch a 30-second clip from some person, and I just want you to educate us better on the subject.
Okay.
This is far bigger news than the SVB bank crash. De-dollarization is happening right now across the world. For those of you that don't know, the only thing keeping us from being sent into hyperinflation and economic catastrophe, more than we already are anyway, is the fact that the dollar is the world reserve currency. As of today, 2/3 of Russia-China trade is done between the yuan or the ruble, each of those nations' currencies. Russia is now using the Chinese yuan to trade with Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Yet, Washington is doing nothing to combat this. In fact, all of the money printing going on right now to bail out our banks is actually throwing fuel on the fire. We could see the end of the dollar regime before we know it, and that would be detrimental to us on so many levels.
All right, Mike, so there was a lot of hyperinflation, economic collapse, China, Russia, bad guys. What's he right about? What's he wrong about?
So there's, just another example that doom porn works. I don't know who this guy is. Don't care to know. But he could have been one of 1,000 different people doing the same thing. So let's kind of walk through this. Being the reserve currency of the world is a good thing. It allows us to operate with less variability. Fact. Mm-hmm. I do believe that some point in the future, just like the pound sterling, which was the reserve currency before the dollar could lose its reserve currency. It will happen at some point in the future, I think. The key to that being in the future. Let's just talk facts. Did you know that there is $7 trillion in trade a day done?
I had no idea.
7 trillion. About 90% of that trade is done in dollars.
Wow.
A decade ago, 91% of that was done in dollars. So yes, Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, countries that you clearly all want to go to, are trying to get away from the dollar. Mm. And it's had a 1% impact on global trade. Again, 91 to 90%, $7 trillion is the average trade done a day. So there's absolutely no threat to the US dollar losing reserve currency in the near future. Near future in this context being a decade. Is it interesting that the BRIC, and let's talk about the BRICS, because there's actually an S on that. That's Brazil, Russia, Iran, mm-hmm. China, South Africa.
Okay.
South Africa. Right? Again, 5 countries. Brazil being relatively close to us. I've been to Brazil. I have to tell you, Brazil's not the most ethical country at the government level, right? Lots of fraud and all of that. China's a centralized country. Again, these countries, there's a lot of fraud going on. So they sign some paperwork, they do some trade. In the next 2 or 3 years, somebody's going to screw somebody and it'll just all fall apart. Mm-hmm. This is not Germany, Canada, Australia, pick another countries. I mean, that would be a problem. England, right? That'd be a problem. Yeah, I don't think using Brazil, China, Russia, Iran and South Africa are the shining examples of a better way to do it. They're just all criminals that will steal from each other, and it will just blow up. It's noise. It gets clicks. It gets people excited.
Mhm.
It puts you in the matrix so you don't do what you're supposed to do. Folks, we're heading into some bad times. Some dark days are ahead. Good times never last. They're over. Bad times are coming. But as I have proven over and over again, wealth is built in the bad times. You either click on these scary things and get lost in the matrix, or you shut off your phone and do some work.
Mhm.
Start a business, get a side hustle, learn real estate, learn stocks, learn crypto, learn NFTs. I don't care what it is. Find your thing and get your ass and do the work. Stop paying these people. If you stop watching nonsense, the creators will do something else. But nonsense pays, and that's why they do it.
I think that's a good response. I didn't know that about how much in dollars was conducted in trade every single day. I think those are pretty telling facts. 91% to 90% in $7 trillion a day. That definitely puts things into perspective. Mike, I appreciate your opinions on this topic, and thanks always for having me on the channel to talk about these issues. That's all I got for you this week.
Awesome, man. Thank you. I appreciate you. Folks, leave comments below. He will scour them, and we'll do this again next week. Thanks.